Hey, church, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for some more time in God's Word. Big shout out today to Larry Yurko from Indiana, who, by the way, is planning one of his very first men's events. Thanks for reaching out to me, Larry, and seeking me out as a speaker. I pray this event goes well for you and that many of the men from your church will be there as well. Today we're going to be in John chapter 20. I'm going to read verse 17. It reads, Jesus said to her, that is Mary Magdalene, do not cling to me, because she has run over now and she's grabbed hold of Jesus. For I have not yet ascended to the Father, but go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God. Now, guys, this text is a problem for interpretation. One of the most problematic texts in all of the New Testament based upon how you just read the text. But to simplify it today, I'm going to try to give you the most rudimentary version or view of this text. So here's what's happening. While speaking to Jesus, Mary discovers that the man that she's actually talking to is not the gardener, it's Jesus. And she's so overjoyed that she instinctively just grabs a hold of him, like grabs him in a manner that someone would grab another person that they don't want to let go of so they won't get away from him. But Jesus commands her not to cling to him like that, because right now he's got a critical mission and limited time to complete it. So Jesus then tells Mary the mission and gives her one as well. He tells her to go and tell the disciples that he is going to ascend to heaven. But as he does this, Jesus makes a point to refer to God as his Father and their Father, as well as his God and their God. So in simpler terms, Jesus is just saying to her, don't hold on to me right now, Mary. I have to return to heaven to be with my Father, but you need to go and tell the others that I'm going back and that they need to hear the message that God is not just my Father, but theirs as well. So let me make a little bit of an interesting application of this text today. Stay with me. You know, we live in strange times, don't we? Many new ideas are coming at us all the time in the vastly changing culture. One of them is the agenda we know as DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion. You probably heard that language all over the place, right? This has gained a lot of ground in corporations, in our government, in education, just about everywhere. And it aims to create environments where people of all races and all genders and all sexual orientations and all religions and abilities can thrive. The focus is to ensure fair treatment and equal opportunities for everybody, especially those who have been marginalized in the past. The problem is that social policies like this are impossible to achieve by nature of inclusion. Someone will always be excluded, regardless of how socially ethical the policy might claim to be. And we have seen this happen since these policies were launched, haven't we? There's always someone of some race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or religion who has been marginalized since this experiment began. And we are not the first to try our hands at policies and agendas like this. Syncretism is what it's called, has been tried many times before. We see numerous examples of this all over the Bible. In fact, I listed a bunch below that you can read about and you can see. Just delve into them a little bit. You're going to discover that all of this has been tried before. From the Tower of Babylon to the Greek Pantheon, we have tried syncretism. Every time this experiment fails, but this drive for inclusion does point out one thing. We long for inclusion. We long for it. We dream of a utopia where everyone and all people can be included. But the only way to know this kind of inclusion is to come to terms with the ultimate exclusion. It's a problem that drives deeper than our race and our ethnicity, than our gender and sexual orientation and the like. We got to come to terms with the fact that all human efforts to achieve inclusion are futile because human sin excludes every single one of us. What we need is a righteous Father to include us, who resolves the issue of humanity's ultimate exclusion, sin. You know, what we need to do today is to grab a hold of, you see what I'm doing there? Grab a hold of the right mission. No social program will suffice. It's a divine mission, a mission accomplished by Jesus in his resurrection from the dead. It's the payment of sin by the life of one righteous man that makes all men righteous, evidenced by the defeat of death of Jesus Christ in this moment. The mission is radically and spiritually inclusive if you understand and accept the radical exclusion of your sin and your need for his salvation and leadership in your life. You know what DEI is? It's just another acronym for another false deity. Even almost spells it out, doesn't it? Worship the only true God today. I love you guys. I pray this bless you. If it has, share it with someone else, and I'll see you right back here again.